I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Nicola, and in today's video basically I'm just going to be explaining what I do, what my job is. A lot of you guys have been so interested in what I do because I have mentioned before that I work in social media and that I'm a social media manager and I work with some great companies, so you guys just were really interested and you asked me a lot of questions over DMs and even on YouTube. So I'm just here to answer everything you guys want to know. I just want to give you a little bit of a background of how I started, how I got into it, where I work, what exactly the job entails, how I even learned this stuff, and I'm just going to be giving you an overview of what I actually do as a social media manager in Malta, working both freelance and for companies. I think I should start off by firstly saying that I am mostly freelance. And basically that means that I work with whoever needs social media help, any business that needs help with their social media, so their Instagram or their TikToks. I manage accounts on Instagram, I also create content, I also film and edit, so anyone that basically needs help with anything to do with social media, I can help them and they can contact me directly, and basically that's how my freelance work works. When it comes to sort of like my full-time job and my constants, I have two main constants. One of which is with a self-development agency called A Life I Choose, which I have mentioned on here before. I basically work with Emma Hogg, who's the founder of A Life I Choose. A Life I Choose is basically a self-development agency that has lifestyle strategy sessions. So what I do there is basically create Instagram content. I'm always coming up with new ideas. We have a theme a week, so I create posts on that. I also create Insta stories and I make sure that we have a content schedule for the whole month. There's a lot that goes into it, but basically that's one of my first constants that's always there. But then as well, as you guys have probably seen from my Instagram, I do work with XFactor and Malta's Got Talent. We have the same team, so whatever show is showing, I'm basically working with them. And that's one of the most fun projects I've ever worked on in my life, and I honestly still can't believe that I work with such an amazing team. And I'm part of such an amazing business and company. It's just absolutely mad to me. And those are basically just my two constants. What I do at XFactor is basically just behind the scenes content. I also come up with some ideas for social media and basically just take care of social media in general. So that's super fun. But now once I gave you sort of like a background of what exactly I do, I'm gonna go into sort of how I got into it, where this all came from, and how it all started. So basically, I don't really know how this all came about initially, but my family as a whole is a very creative family. My mom's a photographer, my grandfather always used to film, so the filming side I definitely took after him. But when it comes to social media, I am the first one in the family. I never really had anyone to look up to in my family when it came to that. It was just something I absolutely loved and fell in love with. But obviously when I started my YouTube channel around 3 or 4 years ago, that's where I got into it as well. To be honest, that time in my life, I was way more into editing and filming, but then as the years went on, it quickly switched to social media. After my O-levels at school, I applied for a job with A Life I Choose as basically a content creator. I was editing videos at the time, and that was sort of my main job, to edit videos and just upload them onto YouTube, because Emma also has a YouTube channel, so I was helping her out with that. But as time went on, we focused more on Instagram and we started creating posts. We started being way more active on Instagram, so I basically became her social media manager, and basically that's where I am still till this day, 3 years later, which is absolutely crazy, and I absolutely love working with Emma, so it's honestly so much fun. And while I was working with Emma, the January before, so I applied to work with Emma on probably May-ish, and that January of the same year is when I actually started XFactor. So I started XFactor when it was season 1, but in the live shows, so at the very end, and the live shows normally take place in January, February time. So that's exactly when I got into XFactor, and how that all happened, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this story before, but how that all happened basically was, while we had our YouTube channel, we were asked to film The Travellers. So we went to film The Travellers, and there I met the photographer called Albert. And Albert basically referred me to the XFactor team, and that's how I got in. I started working with them on social media. I took over their Insta stories and I was working on that in the beginning. And then obviously as time went on, I started to implement more things, and here I am today. XFactor starts next week. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but I'll be there for auditions, which I'm very excited about. We actually had a meeting this morning. I absolutely love the whole environment and just working there in general. It's so much fun. There are so many creative people. people, and it's honestly such a good time. So yes, that's exactly how I got into social media. Now you're probably thinking like, you couldn't just like learn this by yourself. Like how did you learn to sort of do these things? Like where did this all come from? To be honest, I never ever had any course like in social media, nothing specific, but I did a lot of research. I attended a lot of workshops and a lot of webinars, especially in COVID times. Like there were loads of webinars online and they were mainly in America, so I had to basically be up at like midnight till 4 in the morning just taking notes and just basically teaching myself how social media actually works, what goes into it, what works and what doesn't, how to create an amazing presence on social media, what to do with companies, what to do for freelance. I just basically learned everything myself. Everything I wanted to learn, I would just look up and learn myself, and that's basically how I got into it. There was no course that I did. MCAS didn't provide anything to do with social media. So what I learned and what I know is all self-taught, and it's basically from a lot of research, a lot of hours awake watching YouTube videos, researching online, attending courses, attending workshops, attending webinars, and that is how I learned what social media is all about and how to actually implement it into brands and businesses. So I'm pretty sure you guys are very interested in sort of what a social media manager does, what do you do when you work in social media management, like all of this stuff, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you do right here. So basically, a social media manager takes care of a social media platform of a company, a brand, a business, an influencer, anyone that has a social media account that needs to be run. Basically, a social media manager does that. Now, there are different types of things people do, but I'm going to speak from my personal experience and what I do and what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Every job, as I mentioned, is completely different, and you could have a news company that wants one thing and you could have an influencer that wants another. So the jobs itself honestly range from a bunch of different things. Like one person would just want social media content to be created for them, another one would just want you to monitor their social media content, the analytics, SEO, etc. So it's always different. You never have the same thing, and that's what's so much fun. That's what I absolutely love. That there are so many things you can adapt to and nothing is the same, which is so much fun to obviously come up with new ideas, to create content for them, to see how people interact and engage with them. And I've honestly been so lucky to work with so many different types of people. I've worked with food companies, I've worked with MEPs, I've worked with lifestyle strategists, I've worked with psychotherapists, I've worked with massive companies like XFactor and Malta's Got Talent, I've worked with fashion industries, I've worked with restaurants, I've worked in news, I've worked in a bunch of different things. I'm sure there are things I'm not even mentioning, shows, productions, etc. You name it, I've probably done it. Now obviously please don't take this the wrong way. This is not me trying to like boast or just say what I've done. This is just to tell you that I've basically seen what goes into each industry and I know how they work quite well. So I do have a lot of understanding from experience, which I feel like is the best teacher. Experience is honestly the greatest teacher. But when it comes to actually like what a social media manager does, basically what I do and what I feel works the best is to obviously know what brand you're working with, know their brand values, know what their aims and goals are, and basically just come up with a content strategy to meet their goals and to meet their desires. What I do is I sort of draft out a brief of what I can give them and what I can do and what I feel would work for their brand and what wouldn't work for their brand, and then basically we have a meeting, we come up with sort of a shared vision and we go from there. I do all sorts of things from researching content to creating the actual content, posting the content, monitoring the content, analytics, SEO. That's something I'm getting into now recently. I've been studying SEO for the past like couple of months, which is actually so interesting and so much fun. I also do on location sort of behind the scenes shoots. I can film and edit, so for anyone that needs like any filming or editing, I could be there as well. Obviously I'm not as professional as, you know, an actual videographer, but I know the skills. I have the basic idea of what I need to do. I know how to edit as well, so that all helps when it comes to social media, because it's a very sort of inclusive industry in the sense of you work very hand in hand with videographers, with photographers, and it's very good to know, you know, all the ins and outs, all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on, because it does really help. But yes, I think that's basically all I needed to cover. A social media manager is literally what the words say. You literally manage social media accounts for other people, be it Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. You create the content, come up with ideas, come up with sort of proposals for the brand, and you just basically create content in alignment with the vision of the brand, which I absolutely love. As I said, it's constant learning. You never stop learning when it comes to an industry like this. Social media is always changing. There's something new every single day. So you always have to adapt. You have to literally be on the ball 24/7. You need to know the latest trends. You need to know exactly what's going on, just so you could create the best content, be on top of everyone else, and just produce the most effective content for your viewers. You need to know exactly what your viewers engage with, what they like, what they want to see, and basically just build upon that. Social media is literally the way forward. It's 2021, everything and everyone is on social media. So I absolutely love being in this industry because you get to meet really cool people. You get to work with awesome brands and companies and people who are just so creative and so open-minded. You learn so much from these people as well. I really hope this gave you sort of like an insight of what I do as a job. If you guys are interested in this content, and I can go way more into detail of exactly what I do for each brand, each company, what I do step by step for each person. I sort of have a layout I created for myself that really helps me just hit the targets that I need to hit for each brand, whatever it may be. So if you guys are interested in learning more about social media, more about what I do, more about what a social media manager entails, and what this job consists of, the tools I use, and the secrets of the industry, just let me know down below, send me a DM, do anything to interact with me and get my attention, and I will definitely make more videos like this. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching and hearing my story. If you did, give it a like and subscribe. I post all types of content, from vlogs, chill videos, challenges, sit down videos, food videos, fashion videos, clothing videos, everything. So just head over to my channel to check those out if you're interested. I'm gonna leave you guys here. I'm sending you loads of love, positive energy, peace and motivation, and I'll see you again for a brand new video very soon. Bye guys!